What's going guys, it's Easy. Welcome to my channel. So these are the speed builds for Druid. I'm going to showcase it to you guys what this looks like. Then we get into the builds itself. And also there are a couple points which I would like to share with you guys while we play. So here we go. So I can pretty much run around and kill anything I want, and they can die, or I can just transform into my bear form, and I just lost track of where I want to go. But yeah, there we go. We want to go this way, I guess, because I lost track. But yeah, the wolf form is amazing. I mostly use it for big guys, or you can just move around and they will die. I will highly suggest to use some dot setup with this build so you can do a lot of damage. Let's see if we can kill them just like that. Yeah, we did, and there we go. Nice. I didn't have to switch into my form, but yeah, look at that, how quickly they are dying. Boom. I still need to get used to with this build, but so far I am really enjoying it. I'm just going to activate my Sage Oak and they will do the magic for me. Dead. This is actually really nice and fun. I have a really good movement speed as well, which I am getting. Dead, 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 dead Malaka. All of them are dead. So you have to make sure that you actually exit out of the wolf form, because then you can reactivate those skills that I am keep doing. That is the downside of Druid. You have to make sure that you always once in a while, in couple of seconds, go back to your normal form, then activate all your skills. So even though when your primal bar is quite full, the game still somewhat kind of forces you to, you know, go back and activate those skills, despite of you can, I mean, still stay in the wolf form. So that is one thing which I did not like at all. Alright, we made some good score there already. But Druid is definitely good class for speed farming. It has potential. The damage output is really nice. Also, I noticed that Druid actually move forward itself. It dashes forward, which is a really nice thing. And this Malaka is going to die anyways. Boom. So quite easy. Now let me show you the builds that I have made here. I am still experimenting a lot. I was busy doing Mastery 4, which I did. It didn't took me long because I had a lot of stuff, but still, that is one thing which is aside now. Hold on. I thought I had 10 of those, but I guess we do not. Alright, deconstruct, and look at me running at higher movement speed. I think I made a mistake here. I should have removed this and I would still be able to run at the same movement speed. See, that was my mistake. I should have used something else there. But anyhow, let's get into the builds, and we're going to do that by starting with our warband buff, which I was using Protector, not the attacker. This way I could run faster because of the bigger size. You can do the same with the brawler here. You can use these 5 skills from the right side and it would make you even bigger, and see, you run even faster. That is insane. And then what else is there? I was using this Paragon setup here, but there are other options too. Definitely I just stick with my normal casual Paragon specialization, Slinger with overloaded. Then talking about my secondary attributes, this is what it looks like. Not the highest but not the worst either, with a lot of critical chance, crit hit damage, attack speed, movement speed. Look at my movement speed, 60% right now, which is good. And when I get bigger, it gives me more. So Druid is definitely a good class for speed farming, and it's deal quite really nice damage in my opinion. So this is what my secondary looks like, and my gem setup is Colossus rank 6, Skull rank 10. Gloom wasn't really useful. I would advise to use Viper Bite or Everlasting Torment in its place, so you can actually move around more freely, leaving bleed effect behind. This was quite useless gem for me in this setup. Then Bloodsoaked Jade, really good. Bottle Hope, Wolf Fjord helps as well if you have a lot of dots effect on you. Rolling Consequence, and finally Fervent Fang. So this is my gem setup here. And talking about my second the set items, this is what I was using. 4 pieces of Grace of Vigilance, so continual damage, channel damage, and persistent ground damage increased by 15%, and also each time you damage an individual enemy 5 times, you will do 22,000 extra damage. So you see, if you go with a lot of dots with this with the farming build, then you can pretty much leave your dot behind and the enemy is just going to die by themselves. You can play this build in the normal dungeon. Not sure how it will play out in challenge dungeon, but it should be still somewhat playable in my opinion. Then we are using 4 pieces of Virus Urge here, just as always. My favorite, the 2 piece is giving us the beneficial duration, and the other 2 is giving us to a 30% increase attack speed. And now let's get into the builds itself, and before we do that, these were the skills I was using: werewolf form, then thorn armor, summon oak sage, and summon wolf, so we can have a lot of movement speed. So those are my skills. I really like how fast I move. So now let's get into the builds itself. So the first piece which I was using, or maybe hold on, let me show you guys my, what's this called? Yeah, the loadout setup. This is the loadout setup for the Reforge on all gear pieces. Primary damage, skill damage, critical damage, duration of beneficial effects, and attack speed is what I am using. The same I use for my Demon Hunter. I think you were going here for the build itself. So the first piece which we are using is for the Thorn Armor. Also increases your critical hit chance by 15.2% while active, and for me it lasts pretty much 100% of the time. However, the downside is that when you activate and you're in the form, I think it just goes away and it comes back when you go back to your Druid form. So this is one thing which I find to be a bummer 100%. But yeah, you can pretty much keep it active like 100% of the time. Is a buff skill. And then where is it? Then the second piece is for Thorn Armor as well. Now create an aura of thorny vines that follows you, continually damage nearby enemies and infecting them with smolder seeds, which explode if the infected enemy is burning. Thorn armor damage increased by 18% if you have a awakened slot. So these two are, working well, quite good together. Then my shoulder is for my shoulder here, and let me show you what it is. Summon wolves now, summon fire wolves to fight alongside you and burn enemies. So the reason I am using it because I want to leave some fire effects behind, so my Grace of Fraudulent can kick in and leave those lightning attack on enemies. So this is why I am using that. Then Savagery Adored is the pant which we are using, and it is for werewolf. Also increases the critical hit chance of your primary attacks by 20.8% for 3 seconds after when you activate Rend and Tear, and also damage increase. Then moving forward, we have our first main hand, and keep in mind I am not focusing on the legendary affixes here. They are designed for my demon hunter, so I am not changing them as of now. But our first main hand is Summon Wolf. Also increases the movement speed by 20% for each active wolf companion under control, up to a maximum of 60%. Amazing. I really like this one here. Hold on, let me show you my second main hand before we move on to the offhands. Radiant Werewolf. Werewolf now wreath you in fire when you transform, damaging and burning nearby enemies and causing explosion of flame when primary attack critically hit. Werewolf damage increase if you have a weakened slot. So you see, I am trying to bring a lot of dots setup here. Even when I switch to the wolf form, even when you're moving around, you can burn a lot of enemies and you can just move around without attacking if you choose to. If you have a really strong dodge setup, then you can just move through enemies and they are going to die pretty easy. Those Malaka will not give you any issue whatsoever. Then our first offhand here is Reckless Sage. Summon Oak Sage no longer passively summon and instead actively summons a ring of oak sage that automatically seek out target and self-destruct. So this is really good versus leaves, yellows or Asian. I would advise to keep at least one. When you see a yellow, then trigger it and they will be gone, so there won't be any issue. Then what we have here, the second, our offhand is for our primary attack, which is Ferocious Strike. Generate an additional 8 primal power when hitting an enemy. So this is actually a really good way if you are low on your transformation bar and you need to get back into your transformation form. You can just deliver some attacks and then you can move into your transformation werewolf form. But overall this build is somewhat really nice. I still need to get used to it, but I think it is going to be really fun. And do let me know when you guys try it out how it goes, and if you have some modification to share in the comment section, then I'll be happy to check that out as well. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, have fun, and bye guys.